Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss the government's latest initiative and employment opportunity. They wish to hire a unicorn hunter in order to find the benefits of Brexit. Not actually kidding either. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news in politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So remember how Brexiteers kept telling us that there were so many benefits to Brexit. Oh, there's so many benefits. There's no actual downsides. It's just benefits. It's just upsides. And how many of us kept asking them to name one tangible benefit and were met with deafening silence year after year after year? Well, now the government have decided they should probably have one. Our unelected Brexit Minister, David Frost, a man who has been, as I've been talking about, descending into madness in front of our very eyes this week, hence all the videos about him, has said that the government is going to hire an external advisor to identify post-Brexit opportunities. A unicorn hunter. The clearest admission yet that they aren't aware of any. I mean, we knew that anyway because they couldn't name any. I talked earlier this year about a fake article that the government paid for in a newspaper to try and claim that several companies had benefited from Brexit. But there were a few small flaws in the so-called report. One, all of the businesses were importers. Brexit has introduced export barriers. We haven't implemented import barriers yet, and we sell by exporting. Two, none of the businesses actually increased their business. The best that could be said is that they hadn't gone to the wall yet. This was literally like saying, Brexit's so brilliant, these companies that were really successful are still managing to turn a profit. They haven't actually collapsed. Isn't that amazing? And the third thing was that all of the businesses said clearly themselves that they only survived because they had personalised help from the Department for Trade and Industry in order to deal with the paperwork. Something that is not available to everyone, can't be available to everyone. We don't have enough civil servants to work personally to deal with the paperwork for millions of small businesses in the UK. And another thing that has been pointed out is that we already had a team that was supposed to be hunting for the Brexit unicorns. Ian Duncan Smith, one of the thickest MPs ever to have been allowed to speak in the Commons and prominent Brexiteer, was tasked with identifying post-Brexit opportunities. That's his job. It was supposed to report back to Boris Johnson last month. Now, there was no requirement to publish his report, so I'm not sure exactly what happened there. I mean, did his report consist of a blank piece of paper or something? I mean, if a committed Brexiteer cannot find any benefits of Brexit, what do they expect an external hire to do? Oh, and I do wonder who they will hire. I guess it can't be Nigel Farage. He's grifting a fortune in America at the moment. Maybe Tim Martin, the Wetherspoons boss, who thought that a no-deal Brexit meant free trade with the EU. Oh, please let it be him. Or maybe it will just turn out to be another way of funneling money into a PR company who donate to the Tory party, and their report will be as blank as the one that Duncan Smith turned in. Of course, that's the ridiculous side of the story. There is another side that needs to be of serious concern to the public, and perhaps would be if Labour would just set their sights on it. Boris Johnson's government pushed through a hard Brexit without any consultation with the public on the specific way of doing it. He won a general election on the back of a Brexit agreement that he now wants to tear up. And he has done all of this without actually knowing any benefits at all. I mean, even if a government in the past has done something they know to be publicly unpopular, which multiple governments have, they have tended to at least believe in it themselves. Even if history has judged the actions to be wrong, as well as undemocratic, that government will still have been able to justify it. Boris Johnson ripped us out of the EU when he knew that a majority were not in favour of it, so he knew it was unpopular. In a form of Brexit that did not enjoy overwhelming support, even within the Leave contingent, and he cannot even name a single benefit. I mean, all of the pro-Brexit media, do you hear them lauding the benefits of Brexit? No. No, all they've done is switch from saying how great it will be to how terrible it is, but it's the EU's fault. But it's terrible. That's what they're all saying. Now, when I say this, I don't mean that Boris Johnson can't pile up enough benefits to compensate for the very clear downsides. I mean, not a single benefit can be named. What's more, they can't even find a single pro-Brexit MP or civil servant to come up with any benefits. Over a year after leaving the EU, several months after leaving the customs union and single market, the government are now getting ready to hire someone in search of these benefits. So, with all the resources of the very well-funded Conservative Party and the entirety of the UK civil service, Boris Johnson is unable to identify a post-Brexit opportunity. And yet, when businesses complained that they faced an existential threat from Brexit, he would just tell them to stop being doom mongers, just identify the opportunities in Brexit. All you have to do is identify the opportunities in Brexit, not stick your head in the sand. There you go. Any business that failed did so because they failed to identify the opportunities in Brexit. That was the attitude. Well, this government have failed to identify the opportunities in Brexit. They failed so badly that 4 months after leaving the single market, 15 months after leaving the EU, and 5 years after campaigning to leave the EU, they still can't identify a single one. Doesn't that mean, by his own logic, that Boris Johnson's government has failed because he has not identified the opportunities in Brexit? We also have to remember just how badly the government are failing to identify the opportunities as well. They still haven't published their impact assessment of Johnson's Brexit deal. Standard procedure to publish an impact assessment report when a trade deal is signed. We do it for others. It's only the EU we haven't done it for. I mean, we've had the impact assessment report, we just haven't had it published. The only figures we have from the Office for Budgetary Responsibility, who said that a free trade deal with the EU would leave us 4% worse off than having remained as a member. But that was before Brexit actually happened. The figure could be worse, given that the government's actions are going to worsen trade barriers. Threatening to suspend the protocol could easily lead to more tariffs on British goods. We already have some tariffs, which I'm not sure if the OBR figure took account of because they calculated that before we had the deal. It's based on rules of origin, of course. Also, the fact that we don't apply checks on incoming EU goods. Again, we were supposed to be applying checks, we're not doing. So that means that the EU have a competitive advantage over our businesses right now. And when you consider the other trade deals that have been signed, which are dwarfed by our trade with the EU, are all on equal or worse terms than we had in the EU, the overall GDP reduction will certainly be worse than a 4% drop. Naturally, this government unicorn hunter, whomever it turns out to be, won't actually find anything other than the fact it will pay them a nice income for however long they can convince the government they need to research it. Maybe they should say it'll take 50 years. After all, Jacob Rees-Mogg suggested it would be about that long before we saw the benefits, didn't he? Not that I remember that on the side of the bus. Frankly, I'm thinking that there will be a Brexit benefit. I mean that quite genuinely. There will be a Brexit benefit. They could hire me, I'll come up with one. And I expect to see it in less than 50 years. I think the main Brexit benefit that we will finally become a more humble nation, recognise the strength in unity, rejoin as fully committed Europeans and concede the gammons to the corner with the pointy hat of historical judgment. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.